Hello, my name is Eduardo Martinez. I'm doing a case study here on a um, person named Heidi Roizen. Heidi is a very interesting person in this study because of the lesson here in trying to use influence and to build a network and understand how those networks can help us or help us solve problems or solve issues or just generally getting ahead with something that we feel we need assistance with. Um, I'm going to look at Heidi's network from a couple of different aspects. The first one is going to be taking a look at her strengths of her network and how that helped her throughout her career. The second aspect that I will discuss is the concepts that we learned in this lesson and how they apply to the influence that that these topics, the influence that they played in Heidi's network in terms of how they affected her power, her influence, as well as the general growth of her network. So, first of all, to look at the strengths of her network, I believe that there were four key strengths within Heidi's network, and this was evident throughout the span of her career that was documented in this particular case study. First of all, the network proves to be a very wide network, and it includes people that she has met throughout her career from the time that she was a student and had graduated from college and obtained her first job at a company called named Tandem. And Tandem is a high-tech computer company that she really did not have a background to work at. She had I believe it was a Bachelor of Arts in writing or creative writing. And it was difficult for someone with that background to kind of break into that environment, that high-tech environment. However, she applied for a position as someone that was going to be responsible for their newsletter, and she made contact or found out about that through a friend of hers that knew the HR person at Tandem. So that was the first instance of her using a network in contacting this person at Tandem, which she landed a job, and through that position was able to build a relationship with the CEO at Tandem, which then she later used to write a letter of recommendation for her to get into Stanford's Graduate School of Business. So another aspect of her network is that it was influential. It contained influential people. In this case, the CEO of Tandem. Later on in the study, it also goes on to talk about her relationship with Bill Gates, probably one of the most influential people in the history of software and software development. And so she knew Bill Gates and used him throughout her career as a personal acquaintance and someone that she had in her network. Also, another aspect of her network is that it allowed her to be recognized as an industry leader for the area that she was involved in being a journalist that wrote the newsletter to going into business with her brother as a software developer, a company that did software development that competed against the early giants in spreadsheet the spreadsheet software business like Lotus 123. Another aspect of her network that I find is interesting is that throughout the span of her career, you see her adding influential people as well as just general technologists in terms of just general everyday type people like computer programmers. So her network include a wide range of people, and it continued to grow throughout her career. A very interesting network. As I look at the studies that were in this particular lesson, there are several concepts that were discussed that are very evident throughout Heidi's career and in her network. For one is if we analyze the book that we had to read for this, the book of Give and Take by Adam Grant. Mr. Adam describes three types of people in his book. There are givers, there are takers, and there's somebody in between that he refers to as matchers. There are instances throughout Heidi's career here that she can be identified as a giver. She was known as a person that would provide ideas and would share ideas, share value with others without expecting anything back, a true sign of a giver. She would also, she shared her ideas and developed this concept of a mentor capitalist where she would mentor startup companies and just companies in general that needed guidance and leadership. So she provided that. And a giver receives satisfaction from the fact of that they like what their role is in a company as far as like providing something that's of value and seeing others succeed from that. And as Mr. Grant, Dr. Grant describes in his book, is that in the end, in the long run, givers will always succeed, and that is completely true with the study of Heidi and her network. There's also the additional readings, and within this lesson, they talked about the certain principles of influence, and some of those that I think identified with Heidi's career is the principle of social proof. She would use peer acquaintances and people in her network to benefit in her and move her forward in her career. There were instances where she used people with power to, in the case of using the CEO from Tandem to write her a letter of recommendation for getting into business school. She also, the principle of liking came into effect to help her garner power, and it affected her ability to maintain power because people liked her. And that principle of liking shows us that people will support those that we like, and not so much with people that are not likable. So that principle really applied to her, and proven by the fact that her network was so influential and so great. Also, there's the principle of authority, I think, applied to Heidi's success, in that she was recognized as a person that was an expert in her field, and it was something that everyone recognized, and she shared that, and so that principle was also widely apparent in her career. So that concludes what I wanted to share with you about the study on Heidi Roizen.